Do you feel as though your Amazon sales are stuck? Follow the pricing strategies I go over with you in this video, and I guarantee you'll see at least a 20% increase in sales within a few weeks. So what I'm going to do is go over a few different pricing strategies based off where you are in the Amazon funnel. From a product launch to your sales are stagnant to competitors are undercutting you. I'm going to provide different strategies for each, so hopefully it can help you in some capacity. So the first thing we're going to go over is the best launch pricing strategy. One of the most important things on Amazon. And if you mess this up, your entire listing and launch can be screwed up. So this contains days 1 to 60. Now, what is the goal of this initial stage? The goal is to generate initial sales, build reviews, and trigger Amazon ranking algorithm. A big mistake I see nowadays, a lot of sellers focus too much on just profitability and focusing on maintaining their margins during that stage. What you have to understand is Amazon's very different from your own Shopify or selling on a different platform. You have to really build reviews and rankings in order to generate more sales, okay? So days 1 to 60 are very important because these are your honeymoon phases. So this is going to be aggressive launch discounts. So I have a perfect analogy here. This is a graph from Stephen Pope, if you don't know him, the best launch strategy. So if you actually want to see growth, you must sacrifice in the short term, for long-term profitability and sales. So in the short term, if you are break even for a month 1, month 2, that is fine as long as you're generating enough sales and getting enough reviews so that we can get our product on page 1 for our keywords. So this is what we recommend, or most people recommend this. So your target price initially be 50% off. Now I say 50% off because you are new into the market. It does not matter if you have an amazing product that the market doesn't have yet, or an amazing main image. You have to understand you have no validity. So you have no reviews, no one trusts your product. So the only way to do that and to get incentives for them to buy is you have to lower your price enough to buy it, okay? So this is a pretty cool analogy, 50% off. If your target pricing is $30, $15, then if you get 50 sales, bump it to 18%, 40% off. 30%, 21. So it's all based off how much sales you get. So that's how much more you're going to lay off the discount. That's the entire goal. Because then when you hit like a goal where it's like 0% off and you're back to your normal 30 price, you've maintained so much sales in the honeymoon period where you have good enough organic ranking where you don't have to focus so much on just advertising. You're going to get a lot more organic sales. But the thing is, if you do not do this, you're going to spend a lot of money on PPC. And I'm a victim of this because I have done this. You're going to spend a lot of money on PPC and you're not going to get enough buys. People are going to click your listing, but they're not going to buy it because you have no reviews. So how do you incentivize them? You drop your price down below your market average to get those initial sales. Hey, if you're an Amazon seller serious about scaling your business on Amazon, we're offering a free in-depth audit of your brand. We'll cover exactly what's working, what's not working, and give you a plan of action to efficiently scale. So it should be the first link in the bio and also in the comments, and we'll get that forward to you. Now let's get back to the video. So for example, let's say we were launching a dehumidifier. Let's say we were launching a unique product that's not on the market right now, that's very premium. So in this market, obviously we have sellers like $249, $250. Let's say our product is way better than this. Let's say we have some super high quality dehumidifier, lasts longer, so on and so forth. And ideally, we want to price the item like at $300, right? But how do we do this in the market? If you just launch the product right away and list it at $300, no one's gonna buy your product even if it's better than everything in the market. Now, why is that? Obviously, you don't have any reviews out the gate. That's number one thing. And you're not ranked organically for all of these keywords. So you're going to be a sponsored ad regardless. So you need sales in order to just build your validity, build your listing out so we can get actually people who want to buy our product. The biggest thing is building validity. You need like case studies for a business or anything. You need testimonials. This is the way of getting testimonials on Amazon. So you need a proper pricing strategy for this. So if I'm at $300, maybe I want to put it at 175, 180, 160. Really depends on what your margin is because that will easen up the conversion rate. There's a much higher chance someone will buy your product at that price point versus $300 with 0 reviews. It's going to be very hard. That's the entire goal of this strategy that we have here. You want to track your sales velocity and see how much I can reduce the discount till you hit your target. Because by the end of this, ideally you should have more than 10 reviews, okay? And you should, be ranking a lot more keywords that you wouldn't initially be if you just kept your pricing the same. This is a big mistake people do initially. Make sure you do not do this. Sacrifice in the short term. Month 1, month 2, do not focus on profitability. As long as your product is getting onto the first page for your keywords and you're getting reviews, that is the goal. If you do not follow this, you're gonna be screwed up and your product is never gonna get off the ground. So I have a quick breakdown right here, pretty much days 1 to 60, generate initial sales, aggressive launch, offer 50% discounts for 1 to 3 days or until you hit that threshold based off what your numbers are, what sales velocity you're okay with. Start at 50% below your market price. So if you don't know what your market price is, analyze your top 20 competitors. For example, this category, you can go to Helium 10, run Cerebro, and it'll show you the average market price here. So I'll pull it up right here and I'll show you. So here the average market price is $127. Obviously, you want to filter out for your main competitors because this is a category where there's a lot of different pricing. I feel like some people are selling like at $250, $39, $229, $64. So you want to filter out for exactly what your ideal competitors are and then analyze that price and drop it by 50% and start seeing sales out of the gate. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to make such massive increases in your price in short time frame. So for example, if you were at 50% off and you just jump straight to like 10% off, 20% off, Amazon most likely will not let you do that because there is a gap in the strike zone price. You cannot make such gradual changes because then it doesn't align with the algorithm and it messes everything up. So you have to slowly make incremental changes, whether you're decreasing the price or increasing the price. It has to be slowly, slowly, slowly. And that's why you should have like sort of a tablet or a table board here where it shows exactly based off how much sales, I'm gonna drop it by 10%. I'm gonna drop by 5%, 2%, 5% until you hit your ideal goal. Now, what do you do when your sales are low or stagnant? Let's say you're selling for a few months now or a few years now, and your sales have just been stagnant or just dropping. This is due to a few reasons, obviously. Maybe there's more competition in the market. Maybe their price has dropped so much based off like new competitors into the market. There's new keywords which they aren't ranked for. So how do we fix this? Well, pricing is one of the easiest things we can do that will do the quickest fix. So what should we do? You can drop price by 10 to 20% for the first 1 to 3 days, okay? So you can do this in a few methods. You can either add coupons, Prime exclusive discounts, limited time deals, strike zone stuff, bundles, so on and so forth. Do anything that can grab more attention from buyers to increase that conversion rate. And obviously, reducing the price and it shows like a 10% off, 20% discount will do really, really well. What you want to do is during this time, obviously, you want to spend a lot of money more on PPC because we need more eyeballs on our listing, right? So if we just drop the price down, but our ranking is not showing up because we've lost our keyword ranking, then it doesn't matter. So you're going to have to start running PPC a little bit aggressively so we can boost our conversion rate and sales. Now, once sales go up, sales are going up, you see your rankings going up, then you want to gradually increase your price a little bit back up, 5%, 10%. Same sort of tablet I showed you before. Make sure you set thresholds based off sales velocity. What am I okay with in terms of your profitability? Because everyone varies from profit, so on and so forth. So there's a bunch of stuff you can do. Sales price, strike through, set start date, end dates. Amazon lets you do this in Seller Central. And yeah, this is very important if your sales are stuck. Now, what you can also do is set pricing rules in Seller Central. So pretty much what you can do is, based off of if you are sharing a buy box with someone else or distributor, so on and so forth, you can set price rules based off of what they change so you never be undercut, so on and so forth. So if you go into pricing rules in Amazon Seller Central, you can do a few things, okay? You can set it by competitive price rule by Amazon or business catalog rule. Obviously, we're here for competitive price rule. Now, what you can do is you can create custom pricing plans where you can, obviously choose your marketplace. And there's a few options: competitive feature offer, competitive lowest price offer. So the lowest price, if you want the lowest price also, you can always set it to that where it's below everyone else so you never undercut. External price, so on and so forth. It really depends on what your ideal goal is. But if your focus is getting more sales and people are stealing your buy box, you want to have competitive lowest price and you want to set this properly with the USA, so on and so forth. Set it so it's always below this threshold, so that no one ever undercuts you. And this is to make sure that you get those traction back on for your product. You have the buy box always and you're never undercut. Now, something that is inevitable if you sell on Amazon and you see some sort of success, competitors will undercut you. And I know this sucks, but this means you're doing something right on Amazon. So price wars happen. You have to stay calm and strategic. So the number one thing people will do is when they see someone just completely cut their prices to just lower the price. Now that will work in the short term, but obviously in the long term, it's going to be a price war. They're going to drop the price down. You're going to keep dropping your price down and it's going to be race to the bottom. No one's going to have a margin and you do not want to play that game. So there's a few things we can do with this. So if you see them undercut you drastically, first of all, don't react right away. Track your sales, obviously. Track your sales, track their rankings. You can monitor with market tracker, or you can just put in Helium 10, their product and your product, and track their pricing changes. Now, if they lower price, obviously we want to be a little bit competitive. Let's say you're selling $30 and they have the same product and drop it $20. Obviously that's going to be harder. But if your listing is strong, let's say you have a lot of reviews, you don't want to be too drastic because there's a reason they lower the price. They don't have the leverage you do. You probably have hundreds of reviews and they do not. So what you want to do is drop slightly, like 50 cents, $1, or whatever their threshold is. If they're at 25, you put it to 20, you put it at 25. Stay visible, don't race to the bottom. Track your sales. Do not make drastic changes. If you're still not converting, then drop it a little bit. But you don't want to be drastic. Now, let's say your product is much better than theirs and you have a stronger listings. You shouldn't have to worry about the price war because naturally customers will want to buy your product because it's the better option. Now, obviously in the short term, they're going to do that to generate more sales. But eventually they're going to have to increase the price slowly for their margins. So you never want to play that game. Tailor your PPC towards what is actually working for you in terms of conversion. If you're a premium option, make sure your images and everything reflect that so you can maintain your sales and your pricing. So let's say they go lower, then you go higher. If your product is actually much better than the competitors, go premium instead. This works really, really well. I've seen a lot of brands that are selling much higher than the competitors because it shows much higher value to the customer. So price higher intentionally by justifying with better images and A+ content. So your main image must show exactly why you're priced at that point. What is justified in it? Do you have a bundles? Is there a unique value proposition? Does it serve multiple purposes? So on and so forth. A+ content, obviously improve this vastly so we can get high conversion rate. Highlight your benefits in bullet points and visuals. You also really want to do this. And obviously get more reviews. More reviews and badges can really help you. If you have Amazon's Choice Badge, you'll see that their price can be whatever they want because Amazon trusts it. And obviously if customers trust Amazon, they'll trust the listing that they're putting out in front. So if you have a badge, you should not have to worry about these prices to a whole new point. But if your product is much better than the competitors, see if you can price it above. Obviously, test this out. You don't want to just leave it at one thing and never reduce it or go back up. You always want to test up pricing on Amazon like you do with PPC, your creatives, so on and so forth. And this is how brands always, win year over year. Now, here is a monthly pricing technique that works really, really well to boost sales, which I just saw like a few weeks ago. Pretty much, it's to boost short-term sales and boost your BSR ranking. Now, what is the goal of this? Drop your price for a few days to create a surge in conversion, which improves your bestseller rank. So ideally, you want to do this on the last few days of the month. And the entire goal is to get enough sales velocity during that period to see a big jump in our bestseller rank. Now, why does this work? Amazon's algorithm heavily favors listings with high recent sales velocity. This is the whole point. A short-term discount gives you a burst of conversions which signal strong demand, pushing your BSR lower, obviously, which is good, and improving your organic visibility. The end goal is we're just trying to improve our BSR rank so we are the top of our subcategory and more customers can buy us. So by having these little 3-5 day windows where we lower the price by like 20% and offer good discounts, and obviously start running more PPC so we can get more sales. During this time period, we're not focused on profitability. We are focused on sales. Even if your margin is 30% on average, if it's at this time, it's 0 because you're so aggressive on your sales and your PPC, but you see like a 2x increase in sales, that is amazing. That's the entire goal because the next weeks forward, your BSR rank is going to go even lower. You can put your pricing back up and you'll see a lot more sales because you have higher organic ranking and people trust you more. So this is a really unique strategy that you should apply if you are a brand on Amazon that does pretty well, but you're trying to figure out how to get to the next level. Now, a quick way how to use it, run a 10 to 20% discount for like 2 to 3 days. Obviously, run a lot more PPC during this time. Target slower weeks or just before major promo events. So maybe before Prime Day, after Prime Day, when your competitors are lagging behind. Christmas, after Christmas, people are lagging behind. So PPC is going to be cheaper and you can attain a market bigger share. Once BSR improves, raise the price back up to maintain margin while riding the ranking boost. Now, here's some quick other tips that I quickly want to go over with you. Every month, you want to test out a new price, whether this is above or below what you have right now, because we want to see if our conversion rate, session rates, sales velocity, tacos increase during this time. You always want to be testing. What you can do is review-based increases. So you can set thresholds based off of how many reviews you're getting to see if you can want to increase your price. So maybe after every 10 new reviews, raise price by $1 to $2. Slowly scale up margins while keeping conversion strong. Now, obviously, this depends on your category. Like if we're selling a $300 product, maybe for every 5 reviews, we increase the price by $10. Versus if you sell a $20 product, maybe for every 20 reviews, we increase it by $1, right? Something you always want to test and see what converts well. Okay, that's everything I got for you in this video. Let me know your thoughts about pricing on Amazon, as I know it can be a pain in the butt. You're always going to deal with it at some point. Follow a few of these strategies. You're going to be in different time periods for your product launch. It's doing well, so on and so forth. But you always want to A/B test. That is the most important thing. Leave a like, subscribe. If you want a free audit, link in bio. If you want to hop on a call, discuss if we can help you, me and my team, launch your brand or even scale your brand, hit that link in bio, and peace out.